are back here on League on Lock, Eric and Mark, and some established teams have struggled mightily in 2018. We're looking at you, SKT, sitting below 500. They made playoffs and at least won a playoff series in spring, but Team Solo Mid, their struggles have been well documented. They had a stacked team coming into this. SKT has a lot of unproven guys that you're not expecting much out of. TSM, when they put this roster together, collectively, everyone was kind of like, that is the top dog in North America. You bring the best bot lane in the West over, you expect them to crush North America. But me oh my, that has not been the case. The first time that TSM doesn't make it to the NALCS finals. They struggled throughout the regular season. They turn it on at the end in spring, and here again in summer, a lot of these same issues are rearing their ugly faces yet again. So Mark, we're launching a full investigation into why TSM is struggling so much in 2018, and a lot of it comes from the early game.
Yeah, absolutely. The early game is a major issue for Team Solo Mid, and it has been actually for kind of quite a while.
Yikes.
Which is not a good thing that you want to see, and I can tell you what's also not a good thing to see, those numbers. Those numbers really are not working for you.
8th. So they beat a couple teams. Goal difference.
A couple teams. Okay, sorry, Optic and Golden Guardians. But when you're looking here, goal differential at 15, minus 400, just consistently being behind the team at the 15-minute mark is not where you want to be. That first tower, again, 25%. You're only opening up the map first here for your team 25% of the time. That is not nearly good enough, given the pressure that your lanes should be applying, given who's in them.
Yeah, I mean, this entire roster is kind of picked, so it almost doesn't matter who your jungle would be because you're winning every single lane with Hanser, Bjergsen, Sven, and Mithy, but that has not been the case. I know the meta is a little bit different. If you like the looks of Bjergsen, I mean, he's playing these off-meta, not off-meta. The meta just doesn't really suit what we're used to seeing from him out of Assassins and stuff like that. But overall, these guys are not dominating the laning phase as much as you'd expect.
Yeah, and I think that one of the issues that I would like to talk about with Bjergsen about that is when you're seeing him struggle right now, I think a lot of it comes from a very passive type of play style that he's adopted in the mid lane sometimes to limit some of the losses or to delay games to get to a better point for the team. And I think that when you've seen him succeed, it's on champions like the Darius, things like that, where he gets to go ham and get aggressive in there and try to create those advantages for his team. And he's able to do that because of his skill that we all know he still has.
Yeah, but I mean, last week he.
I don't want to watch this.
This play wasn't great on the Swain, and you think that's a champion?
Good stopwatch. Good stopwatch.
I mean, it was this. This was obviously just a misclick. This flash that he does here, but
and a Q backwards. Oh, okay.
We saw the early game struggles, but actually last week against the 100 Thieves, they got first turret and they got first dragon because they picked Heimerdinger. So Heimerdinger is basically a lock to get first turret, and they had a huge early lead against the 100 Thieves. So, finally we have a game where they're not just waiting to lose in the early game. They're actually making some plays and getting proactive. But then in these late game team fights where you'd expect a team with the mechanical skill that Team Solo Mid has to thrive, communication just not quite there. I mean, they go for a Baron and then, yay, we got Baron, and we got aced pretty much. So, I mean, the communication, which is why you brought Mithy in, because you thought Biofrost was being, he was too passive, too quiet, a shot caller. Mithy comes in and he's supposed to be the savior. It has definitely not worked out. So communication and the early game are big issues for them.
Right, and when you're talking about that roster move here, the reason that you're bringing Mithy in for that communication is because your expectation is that you were going to be running rookie jungler Mike Young there, of course. Everything was going to be great. He would be able to take in that communication, provide it back, and impact the map the way that you want an aggressive jungler like Mike Young is known for being, but we didn't see that play whatsoever going on, whether it was communication issues or nerves. We didn't see that at all in the spring split, and now we have Grig in the jungle because he's apparently a lot more trusted by the TSM members right now with his performance and with his communication. So you have him there, but the reason why you brought Mithy in and getting rid of Biofrost there was to have that communication with Mike Young specifically. So now that's not there, and now you have Mithy who's underperforming given what his mechanical skills are.
Yes.
And you're watching Biofrost actually on CLG not only thrive as one of the players communicating, but of course his mechanical skill is obviously still on display. And so I think that's another issue that TSM has here.
Yeah, and I mean, Stixxay and Biofrost are looking like the best bot lane in North America right now. Mithy has the 3rd most deaths in the entire league. He's gotten caught out a lot. His Tom Kench ults have basically become a meme at this point. But I think in past years, it's been TSM just kind of, they do play this passive style. They have for a long time. They just sit back, wait for NALCS teams to make a mistake and punish them in the mid to late game. But the competition's a lot better. They make less mistakes, less game-losing mistakes. So TSM sit and wait for that, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah, and hey, no one's escaping the flame today. Even looking in the top lane with Hansert, you have to say, what was going on in that Mundo, man? You were a Mundo, and you were looking weak. You were getting beat up. That doesn't happen to Mundo now. Mundo is supposed to be able to take it, take it. He's a Dr. Mundo, for God's sakes here. He should be the one able to handle it, and it's not happening there. And I don't know whether that's item building or how you're playing the matchup. Not acceptable.
People want to compare this roster because of Mithy to the Yellow Star one, but they got to the finals and 1 game away from winning it. I think they're more like Elements because they might not actually make playoffs in 2018 summer. Well, that's all the time today for League Unlock. Eric and Mark here. Thank you guys very much for watching. See you tomorrow.